Let's be honest, if none of the OEMs released anything new for 2026, would you really be that surprised? Last season was a difficult year, so if Skidoo just released a long list of bold new graphics, it really wouldn't shock me. But that's not at all what Skidoo has done. In fact, they've not only made some significant updates to a number of models, but are also releasing a completely revamped model and spreading the G5 goodness even farther across the entire lineup. For 2026, nearly every model in Skidoo's entire lineup will be in the G5 platform. This also includes all Sport 600 EFI models, which means even the most price-conscious buyers will get to enjoy Skidoo's latest and greatest chassis and suspension technology. Now, I do have to admit I was both very excited and more than a little bit surprised to learn that even the Neo and Neo Plus get a G5 makeover, though in that particular case it's just cosmetic. The actual mechanical parts of the Neo remain the same. Now let's talk about an update for 2026 that won't surprise anybody. This coming season, Spring Order X and XRS package Renegades get the new RAS RX front end. But it's important to understand that while Skidoo could have simply swapped parts over from the MXZ lineup, they instead tweaked things to work better for a 4-stroke application.
We didn't want just to put the same one as the MXZ one on the Renegade, so we wanted to fine-tune that for the Renegade rider. So Renegade riders are doing, let's say, long trail distance, performance still, but we wanted just a little bit of a quieter ride. So we changed a bit the geometry of the spindle to reduce the steering effort.
The next piece of interesting news for 2026 is that the entire Expedition lineup now lives in the G5 platform and gets a new rear suspension.
We didn't just deploy the Gen 5 platform, we also redesigned completely the rear suspension of that one. And we based our concept from the backcountry one, so the real crossover suspension, with still a good trail riding, but still a good off-trail riding also for these people that want to go off-trail. We have a new design of track on the 20-inch. It's the 1.5 crosscut, which is offered studded and non-studded. We did this design to even the pressure on the IFAX. We put also bigger openings to cool the IFAX to reduce the temperature. So a lower temperature equals less wear. With this new track and new design of the suspension, we lowered the noise level lower than before. Really quite ride with this vehicle.
The battle that's been raging in the mountain segment is showing no signs of letting up in 2026. This season, Skidoo is taking their Summit lineup to new heights with 2 very important new updates. But before we get into the new stuff, I want to talk about the 3 different Summit models in the lineup and who they're targeted at. Last season, Skidoo went to great lengths to explain the 3 different models in the Summit lineup and to try and help buyers understand that none of them is better or higher end than the others, they are all just different. The Summit X is designed to be the easiest to ride Summit in the lineup. It's the most forgiving and it requires the least amount of effort. It's most at home where the trees are spaced a little further apart. This is the Summit that most mountain riders should be riding. The Expert is designed to be the most precise and predictable Summit, meant for the most technical riders who are most at home where things are tight and steep. The Freeride is designed to just go big. It's meant for the guys who want to jump off, over, or onto stuff all day. With these different intended usages in mind, Skidoo has made pretty significant upgrades to both the Summit X and the Expert for 2026. The Summit X loses 12 pounds of dry weight and 2 pounds of wet weight for a total weight loss of 14 pounds. Think about that for a minute. 14 pounds in 1 year. How much would it cost to lose that much weight from your current mountain sled? Don't even bother thinking about it, it'll just make you sick. The engineers at Skidoo went over the Summit X with a fine-tooth comb and a pretty sharp butcher's knife to shave off every ounce of fat they could possibly find. The result is a sled that feels light because it is light, weighing in wet at 511 pounds with shot and 509 pounds without.
So the biggest area is the frame, is the chassis. We were able to save up to 5 pounds by reducing the thickness of the aluminum sheet that made the tunnel. There was a lot of work to put in to make sure that these sleds remain reliable and super good quality product. We have reduced the length of the heat exchanger as well, so we shaved 2 pounds right there. So basically, S module is where that suspension link to the engine module. It's up at the front. So we have a new manufacturing process and we were able to shave 1.5 pounds.
The last sled I want to talk about today is the Summit Expert. Now, as I said earlier, the Expert is designed to be the most precise and accurate Summit money can buy. It's designed to go places only the most experienced riders would dare to go. For 2026, Skidoo has taken the Expert, which was already the narrowest mountain sled in the business at 34 inches, and shaved another inch off either side. The new 32-inch wide front end isn't just a chopped-down version of the 34, though.
You know, it's all about geometry. You know your contact patch when you're riding on a side hill. The front ski is one point of contact, and the rear of the track is another point of contact. So if that ski goes inside, that balance line is basically moved towards the rider. So the input you have on that balance line, you need to push yourself less further away. So if you lean less the vehicle, that means you have more traction on the track. In fact, on a 45-degree slope angle, you have 13% more contact patch than a 34 ski stance.
I have to say that after riding the 32-inch wide Summit Expert in both 850 NA and 850 Turbo trim, I don't think I've ever ridden a sled that was this easy to control on the side of a hill. It requires literally no effort to get it on its side and to keep it there as long as you want it to. But where it was most impressive was on side hills with old tracks or fresh ruts. Where previous models would get thrown off their line when encountering these types of conditions, the 32 Expert was literally unfazed by them. It handled like the ruts weren't even there. For anyone who thought that Skidoo might take a year off in 2026, shame on you. We should all know by now that Skidoo engineers don't get days off, let alone entire seasons. Skidoo's 2026 lineup is evidence, yet again, that they are #1 for a reason, and they have every intention of staying there.